Mr. Chairman, and to the Credentials Committee. My name is Mrs. Fannie Lou Hamer, and I live at 626 East Lafayette Street, Ruleville, Mississippi, Sunflower County, the home of Senator James O. Eastland and Senator Stennis, where I have lived and worked as a sharecropper and timekeeper for 18 years. In August of 1962, I went to try to register to vote. When I came back home, I was met by the plantation owner. He said to me that if I didn't go down there and withdraw my registration, I would have to leave. He said that we're not ready for that in Mississippi. I told him that I did not register for him, I registered for myself. I left that same night. On June 9th, 1963, I had attended a voter registration workshop and was coming back home to Mississippi. It was 10 of us traveling by Continental Trailways bus. When we arrived in Winona, Mississippi, which is in Montgomery County, some of us wanted to use the washroom, to use the restaurant. They were ordered out. During this time, I was on the bus, and I looked through the window to see that they had rushed out. I got off the bus, and one of the ladies said that it was the state highway patrolman and chief of police ordered them out. I got back on the bus, and no sooner than I had got back on the bus, I looked out the window and saw that some of us had been placed in a state highway patrolman's car. I got off the bus to see what happened, and one of them said, "Get that one there." And when I went to get in the car, and the man told me I was under arrest, he kicked me. They took me to county jail, and they placed me in a cell. And I began to hear the sounds of licks and screams. I began to hear the sounds of licks and horrible screams. And somebody yelled, "Can you say yes, sir, nigger? Can you say yes, sir? Can you say yes, sir, nigger? Can you say yes, sir?" And they would use other horrible names. She said, "Yes, I can say yes, sir." "Well, then say it." She said, "I don't know you well enough." They beat her I don't know how long. And after a while, she began to pray and ask God to have mercy on those people. It wasn't too long before 3 white men came to my cell. One of those white men was a state highway patrolman. He asked me where I was from. I told him Ruleville. He said, "We are going to check on this." It wasn't too long before he came back to my cell and he said, "You're from Ruleville, all right? We're going to make you wish you was dead." They carried me from that cell and placed me in another cell with 2 Negro prisoners. The state highway patrolman gave the first Negro prisoner the blackjack. The first Negro prisoner ordered me by way of the state highway patrolman to lie down on the bunk bed with my face down. I laid down my face on the bunk bed, and the first Negro began to beat. I was holding my hands behind my back on my left side because I had suffered from polio when I was 6 years old. I was beat by the first Negro prisoner until he was exhausted. And then the state highway patrolman gave the blackjack to the second Negro prisoner. The second Negro prisoner took the blackjack and began to beat. And then I began to work my feet. And then the state highway patrolman ordered the first Negro prisoner that had beat me to sit on my feet to keep me from working my feet. And I began to scream. And then a white man came over and beat me on the head and told me to hush. My dress had worked up high, and one white man, he came over and he pulled my dress. And I tried to pull my dress down, and he pulled my dress up. All of this on account of that we wanted to register, to vote, and become first-class citizens. I question America. See, Mississippi is a rough place. They not going around carrying out lynching like they used to. But they keep you from eating. They starve you to death. All of this is happening right now in Mississippi. And see, Mississippi is not Mississippi's problem. Mississippi is America's problem, because if America wanted to do something about Mississippi, it would have done so by now. Over these 2 years, all these churches have been bombed and burned. And nobody said nothing about it. Nobody did too much about that. But you let something be burned down by a black woman, and oh my God. That flag is drenched in our blood. Because so many of our ancestors was killed because we never accepted slavery. That flag is drenched in our blood. That flag is drenched in our blood. This country was built on the black backs of black people all over this country. That flag is drenched in our blood. They know what they done to us. They know what they done to us. I question America. I question America, the land of the free and the home of the brave. I really don't know where we go from here. I question America.
Thank you.